I have made $40,774 selling AI systems in the first 19 days of May 2025. This is a very popular format right now on the YouTube where people share how much they make and what they do. I do deeply believe that 95% of them are full of shit because they're shilling Stripe screenshots that could be easily manipulated by different software. I am not here to shill this specific screenshot and say this is, by the way, not Stripe, this is Mercury, our bank account. I can show you the transactions, but trust me, if I would want, this could be easily faked. But I want to provide you the value. If you watched any of my content on the main channel, on this channel, you understand that I've been running my agency for almost 2 years now. I post a lot of the content. And in this specific video, I just want to kind of share exactly the sales process that I have in my agency, because it may be a bit different from what you used to see, because I have clients from two main sources. The first one is the cold outreach, and specifically the cold emails. Obviously, this is not the most productive, or let's put it, nice ways of getting clients, and you don't necessarily get the best prospects out of this specific method, but it works, it's scalable, and it is predictable. This is how I started. Again, if you've been following my journey, you understand that before signing my first client, I sent probably 70 or 80,000 emails trying to land the first deal. I of course hopped on hundreds of sales calls. I pitched a lot of different demos. I charged for different prototypes, demos, and pilots, but I was not able to close the high-end client. Again, there are different reasons for that. I can share it a bit later or in a separate video. But the main problem was that I really sucked at sales and I had no idea what I'm offering and what problems I'm solving. Now, I do believe that candidate solutions, even though I hadn't had too much experience developing the solutions, I had a pretty good idea what we can build. When I say we, it's me. I understood that we could deliver the result, but I was charging a high ticket right away. I still do. My business model is heavily attached to the one-time big payments, which is again very unusual. And I don't think that this is the best agency model ever. This is just what works for me. And this is partially a reason why I started the One Prompt. Again, if you've been following this channel, you know that the One Prompt is a conversational sales system in a box that we license to the people like you that want to resell the solutions or to the actual businesses within our agency. So why I'm saying you this is that because this is productized, it is easily scalable. So the problem that we started to face is that, okay, so the cold outreach and the cold emails are scalable, and technically we could send even more emails. Right now we're sending about 2,000 to 3,000 emails per day. We could send even more. We could probably get to more and more business doors and more niches because we're building customized solutions. But because they are customized, you cannot really scale the services. So I have the 8 team. I have 8 people team, 6 of them developers, because we built a lot of the custom solutions. So this is not the ideal way of building the AI agency, especially right now, but I'm sharing it honestly and openly. This is still kind of the business model that I have. We charge a higher one-time payment, one-time payments. We are usually ranging between $8,000 to $15,000, which is a lot. I kind of unqualify a lot of the businesses because of my content that are reaching out to me with $3,000 to $6,000 in budgets, and they do whatever they want. If it's a customized solution, it's just not worth it. Not because I have low margins, but because of the operational constraints. Again, so 6 developers, we're actively working. A lot of them are helping with the One Prompt, developing new solutions, helping with the YouTube to build the demos and so it's it's just not worth it. Okay. I do understand that I miss a lot, and by the way, I was thinking recently that I could probably transfer all of these guys to the guys within my, community, even the free WhatsApp private chat that we have. I'm not sure, like, I was not focusing on that, so whatever. Now, and we do charge the monthly retainers, but these monthly retainers ranging between $500 to $3,000 a month. Now, the $3,000, if we're talking about more than $2,000, we are talking about two types of services that we're offering. The first one is the CAO, which is the Chief Automation Officers. Now, we have 3 companies right now that we are like CAO for. Now, when I say we, it's me. They came to me because of my content. These are not the prospects that you can get from the cold outreach. These are the businesses that are like looking for us to help them to integrate AI systems and not necessarily do the fulfillment ourselves, but rather help them with the hiring and just give them basically like ideas and the structures on the different ways. Now, these are bigger companies, it's harder to land them. That's why I was never planning on this model and I was never like pitching it. It was just like found me by coincidence. And the second one is a cold email infrastructure. Now, this is again kind of very funny is that we never, like, if you watched any of my videos, you'll see that I was never recommending anyone to kind of sell cold email infrastructures, or I was never like targeting people. I did, like, we did run a few campaigns to the cold emails trying to pitch the cold email infrastructure, but it was just like testing and not actually going in depth into the niche, because I still consider it a lead gen services. Now, like, essentially this is a lead gen, whatever, go-to market infrastructure systems for startups, for different B2B companies. So it's like the LinkedIn is flooded with this type of the offers all everywhere. So, and I don't like it as much, even though we're usually charging, 2 to 2.5K monthly retainers, is that because we're like still usually, it's a performance-based offer. We need to deliver the results. With the cold emails, if you're like just setting up the infrastructure, it's hard to actually give the business predictable results when you're starting. Sure, you can set everything up correctly, but you cannot guarantee the results if you have never worked within this niche. Now, I do think that if you focus on one very specific B2B niche, you can pull this off, but you need to understand like what are you specifically doing. If you're like building the B2B cold email infrastructures for other marketing agencies, selling marketing services or even AI services through the cold email is the hardest thing in the world. And you can say, hey, Eugene, but like, aren't you like sending cold emails? So it does work for you. Yes, but I'm a bit different. Now, I started when it was not that hypey like the AI space, and now I have the case studies. We're reaching out to the audience with a case study, with a public case study that is available on the website, on the YouTube, that they might know this company because we worked with a few big companies. So I'm in a different position. That is why you need to test it. It's a numbers game, of course, but just giving you kind of the structure of my agency: bigger one-timers and then smaller retainers. So the other half of the clients that we are getting comes from my content, which is, pretty understandable. Now, I do think that from like looking at the market and seeing what other people are like thinking and saying, you guys tend to overestimate how content kind of drives the business like mine forward. Because let's think about it for a second. I'm talking to you. Like, if I would bet my whole net worth, I would say that you are watching this video because you want to sell AI solutions. Maybe you're not, but it's probably 9 out of 10. Like 9 out of 10 people would want to like sell these solutions. Eventually consult the businesses or whatever they're curious. You're not my agency clients. You're not clients for Quimple. You're not. So I'm like creating the content for another audience. Now, for you guys, I do have the one prompt, which is my way of monetizing you and helping you to get your business up and running. Now, to be completely fair, you know that I'm like keeping it honest. I'm not doing it for helping you because I'm such a great person. Like, bro, like, I want to make money. I want to make money out of you. But I do believe genuinely that you need to like help people, like you need to deliver the value. That's why I always try at least to deliver the most amount of value possible from any pieces of the content that you consume from me, because I want you to eventually buy the one prompt sales system if you are this nine. Now, we do have one, just 10 to 15% of the audience that are qualified for Quimple, that are qualified for the custom AI solutions. So I would say currently about 40% of the clients that we're getting inside Quimple come from the cold outreach, and about another like 40, probably 40, come from the content. Of course, we have much more prospects from the cold outreach. Most of them are not qualified for sure, but in terms of the ratio, this is probably what we're looking for. And the remaining 20% come from the network. Okay, now network seems like a scary word, which I by the way hate. Like, I hate the network. Not my network, so I love you guys. But in terms of, I have no network. I talk to nobody. Like, I don't go to conferences. I travel, so I cannot establish my brand inside one specific city, location, or country, which I would want to have eventually, right? I'm thinking about this actively, but it's hard. It's hard. So when I say network, these are the other agencies, consultants, or people that have the reach to the businesses, to our potential ICP who we're targeting, and that give us introductions to them. So they give us an introduction, I do the sale, and we do the revenue split. Usually we do the 30 to 70%. And now if you go back and see the average, 8. Now, when we're working with partners, we don't go below 10K because I don't want to take anything below $7,000. 10 to, and because these are, larger corps, sometimes 20K deals. When we're talking about these deals, like the money for the introduction does matter, right? The 30%. Now, and this is, by the way, for you guys, for the reference, if you have, some sort of a network, you don't like necessarily need to develop it yourself. Sure, like one option is for you to get the one prompt license and, scale it that way so you don't need to focus on development. Or, okay, contact me, find my WhatsApp number. It's not that hard. Send me the DM, and then like, let's talk. Now, of course, I'm not going to talk with you before you kind of introduce us to the client, or at least show me that you have someone interested. So there's a separate like topic for the discussion. You can contact me, anywhere, or even on LinkedIn. I respond to everything. Now, so this is an acquisition. So this is the marketing. Let's talk about sales. When I get someone on the pipeline, right? Usually we always do one discovery call. Okay. When I say one, it doesn't necessarily mean that only one. It's just like the first. So book the call. Okay. On the call, we're using cal.com. I have a few questions. Here, one of the questions, this is what I do a bit different. One of the questions we have is that, do you have $10,000 plus to invest into this project? Again, I'm talking about the Quimple. I'm not talking about the one prompt. I'm talking about this. And this way, even, it doesn't matter. So if it's the cold outreach, from the cold outreach, the process is a bit different because we are first communicating through the email. Sometimes if the phone number is available on their signature, if it's the direct phone number, I personally make the call if the prospect is qualified after like the first initial interactions, introduce the services. So I'm trying to kind of build the trust a little bit, like sending all the details. And then I still send them this booking form link, because this link has this, $10,000, so that this pre-frame in their head, like how much money they would need to invest. Anyway, so if they say no, I usually contact them. Of course, if it's the cold outreach, I say, hey, what's up? But if it's the organic, if they put it, I still contact them. And this is actually our AI agent now, because like we have here at the bottom of the form, we're saying like how you found us. If it's the cold email, the agent doesn't contact this person because we need to do it manually. We need to find a specific conversation. But if it's something like the YouTube, LinkedIn, or, newsletter, then yes, so the agent contacts them. So the agent contacts them and say, hey, what's up? Why, whatever what you're looking for, tell us more. Because maybe they were like inputted by mistake, or maybe they were like looking for something different. Then we can upsell them or like pitch them the one prompt which is cheaper, but it's out of the box. So now, once this is made, let's say this is the first stage, which is the booking. So the second stage is the discovery call. On the discovery call, if you want, by the way, let me know in the comments if this video, so press the like button, if this video will get 50 likes, let's put it there, 50 likes this video, I will create a detailed breakdown of my sales call script. Okay, 50 likes. Now, so basically what I say is that, hey, what's up, whatever, I'm like pre-framing the conversation saying, so the goal is for me to gather the details and make sure that we're a good fit. I'm asking the details, I'm making sure that it is a good fit, and I am usually offering them to build a demo or the prototype. If you've been watching my older videos, you will see that we were always kind of focusing on charging the clients somewhere between like $100 to $300 for that. Not about the money, of course, just about the commitment. Like, make the payment. Now, and of course, because we're not using Stripe, we do, like sometimes whereas I have a bad relationship with Stripe, it's an ACH. Now, the wire, like ACH wire for like $100, like you need to transfer it to the accounting team. You need to do some actions to make the transfers, not to put the credit card. So that is why it's making some sort of commitment. But currently, we're like right now, because I'm more comfortable with the service, we have more case studies, clients, so I'm usually charging $1,000 to $2,000. Okay, I would not recommend you to do that. This doesn't feel like the prototype or the demo. This feels like an actual solution already. Very cheap one, but okay. So, but this is necessary, right? This is necessary to show the value. Plus, because I have so much content on the YouTube. Of course, if it is the organic, they probably saw that. If it's the cold outreach, through the initial communication, we reference the links to the videos, and then of course when we send the link, they usually don't respond. We need to follow up a few times, then maybe a phone call if the phone number is available to say, have you checked the video, what do you think? So even though we have that, and even though we can reference it on the call here again, we still, and even if like the video is almost the exact system of what they are looking for, we still do the prototypes. But it's a rare case. Like, it's a rare case because, again, with Equimple, we built more customized solutions. Like, there are a few nuances to each and every use case, and they would want to see if we can pull it off. That is why we do the prototype and the demo. After that, usually, like, completely honest, because again, 9 out of 10 people here gonna watch it as trying to sell it. This is not what my clients would want to hear, but it takes us like a day maximum, like one developer, 1 day max, to pull it off, because we have all the templates. But we say them, okay, it's gonna take 2 weeks, to make them feel like it's worth it. Okay, a trick. After that, I present them the Loom. So the Loom video. I'm not hopping in the call right away. I was kind of, it depends, but usually I'm recording myself with a video. Recording them usually 5 to 15 minute Loom, going over the system, showing how it works, showing the prototype here, so that they can share it with the team. They can think about this, they can think about all the questions, and then we actually schedule the call. So on this call, I'm saying, hey, so have you, like, we go back and forth. I say that this is the version 1 of the prototype. So because they had time, because they were able to show this Loom to other people within the company, we have a true objections that they might have before the actual sale. So we don't want to present it, then they will think about this, then the third call. No, this is the second call. So the magic happens on the second call. And then on the second call, we're saying, hey, do you want to kind of go for it? I got a question somewhere, I think within our one prompt community, other people were asking, what do you think about collecting payments on the call? Now, if you've been kind of in the info product space, you know that it's pretty common when it comes to coaching. Hey, you will help me if you put the credit card right now, if you make the deposit on the call, I'm with you, whatever. I haven't found it successful like to do with my model, because again my payments are about $10,000. They need to put another 5K in the deposit, so it's like it's a big chunk of money. So like we never close it on the call. We say, hey, like give me a clear answer, yes or no. What I usually also say is that if they're like, say, I need to think, okay, I don't want to follow up and spam your inbox, tell me the exact day when you'll be able to, give me a clear answer, then I follow up with that. After that, no proposals yet. Usually, I only send proposals when they say clearly that they are interested, okay? Because the proposals is automated, we're using PandaDoc, but still, I want to show them the proposal when they're like clearly saying yes, because there's let me read the proposal, whatever. So I already build you the prototype and the demo and answer all the questions why you need that. So, and the proposal usually, of course, not all the people complete the proposal. Usually it's whatever, like 90%, but to the guys that were sending proposals, they're like completing the actual payment. But again, so this is just the way I work. And then we, start the work. So they made the deposit. We usually take 50% upfront, then 25 after the first stage, 25 after the second stage. And we go from there. As I said, 50 likes on this video will create a detailed breakdown of the call script that I am using. Thanks for watching. Peace.